Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've not posted in a few weeks, and I know this one's late, but I've got some footage from the June 2025 Southeast Loretta Lynn's qualifier at Lake Sugar Tree. It's actually about 10 weeks ago, and I'm counting them, and as you can see, and I'll be telling you more about that in a few minutes. I was entered into 50 plus masters class and the 45 plus sportsman's class that weekend, and my season got cut short in the first 45 plus moto when I crashed and dislocated my shoulder. And I'll give you an update of where my shoulder recovery stands at the end of the video. But first, I'll talk you through some highlights of the 50 plus race.
What's it need to do? Just show the screen. Yeah, you get your running clock now.
I struggled with the 450 getting comfortable on starts. As you can see here, once the guys jump in front of me, I figured the best bet is to let them go, not force it in the corner. Seems some others had the same idea, so it didn't help me much. This class had 24 on the line. I think that's about where I started. So the first lap was just trying to pass as many people as possible. And these situations can be scary, as you can see in just a second, where one guy's trying to avoid another that didn't jump the big table and ends up getting together with another rider. Luckily, the guy that crashed got back up and didn't have any major injuries, I assume, but it looked bad. Some of you guys from the Southeast may remember Robbie Taylor. He used to run number 19, and it's number 19 here. I think we last raced together back in 1986 at Metrolina in Charlotte. past Michael Keller. I'm now in ninth. The qualifying spots are a bit ahead of me, but I'll just try to ride the next 3 laps or so to see if I can catch up. Made a stupid mistake and missed the rut. Excuse my language. I had to run these guys down again. By the way, this is not a crash, but my GoPro fell off with 2 laps to go. Luckily, the track personnel picked it up and quickly radioed the tower to announce they found the GoPro. It didn't get damaged here and was able to change the bracket and get it back in place for the 45 plus moto. I did eventually pass Robbie back and ended up 9th in that first moto. Unfortunately, I didn't have any help on the starting line in the 45 plus moto and tried to turn the camera on, but only got it on photo mode. Oh well. It's impossible to see when it's on the chest with the helmet already on, and heard it beep, but nothing was video. And so I was hoping that at least my crash would be on video, but oh well, it's not. So, but I did crash, obviously. So what's been going on since then? As soon as I crashed, the emergency guys, they were there by the track. They came and helped me immediately. One of the guys took my bike back, and the other one took me on the 4-wheeler up to we're up on the side by side up to the emergency vehicle. And at least it was cool in there, air conditioned, and got my stuff off, and pretty obvious that my shoulder was dislocated or something, broken, dislocated, but it seemed to be dislocated. And so I asked the guy if he could, help me get it back in. Kind of Adam Cianciarillo type, if you ever saw that video where he's on the track and crashed, and the folks popped it back in, and he got back on the track. But no luck there. Just for liability reasons, they won't do anything like that. So they just let me go and told me, yeah, you need to go to the ER and get that checked. So they did take me back up to my truck, and some other folks were there, that I was there with. However, nobody rode with me to the track, so everybody that was there was also participating. So they did help me get my stuff loaded up. We tried to get the shoulder to go back in by pulling on it and kind of pulling over on it, but couldn't get it to go. I did feel it like pop once, like it was almost to go in, but it didn't go in. And so anyway, I got changed and cooled off a little bit and got things loaded up and took off in the truck. I'd called my wife obviously before, and she was about an hour and a half away at home, and so it wasn't too far of a drive. So I said, well, I'll go ahead and try to drive, and if worst case, I'll stop somewhere and she can meet me and we'll go from there, but at least I'll be halfway there. So so started driving and started getting kind of dizzy. So that was not good. So I knew that. So I did stop at a store and sat there for a minute and tried to, try to cool down and actually just started like pulling on my arm and like popped it back into place. It's like, wow, it's back in place. And so I started kind of moving it, and yeah, it was moving. It seemed to be in place. I can now pull it to my chest. I can move it out. And then pretty stupidly, which I didn't know, but I kind of did this motion. This is my good arm. Did this motion, and the thing popped out again. It's like, holy cow. So then it's like tensed up again, and I couldn't get it back in. And so, but I was feeling better, and so I said, okay, well, I'll trek off another ways. If need to, I'll stop again. So went another 45 minutes or so, and it started hurting pretty good, and I needed to stop. So still probably about 30 minutes from home, and so stopped and worked with it a minute and got it popped back in there again. So good. So at that time I knew not to mess with it. Just drive and go about my way. And it actually started shoulder started feeling more normal, and so I got home, and we got stuff, got my wife and we went to the urgent care. Everything, starting to check it out, and everything started to get some X-rays. And on the last X-ray, they wanted me to like spread it out like this, and so I started doing that, and they said, okay, we'll go a little bit further. I went a little bit further, and it went pow, it popped out again. So that was the third time that day that it had dislocated, and it took 2 doctors to get it back in. So I knew not to do that anymore, or try not to, and so so the next Monday or Tuesday I went to see ortho, the PA, and they scheduled my MRI, and also had an appointment with the surgeon it was going to be in a couple of weeks, so as soon as we could get, and the MRI was going to be another week and a half, so almost 2 weeks. And so about a week later, on the weekend, I was getting ready to go to bed. I went out to do something outside real quick, and reached up, and my shoulder popped out again. So that's four times the shoulder popped out. And so then it was late. It was like there was no urgent care open. So what I do, I had to go to the. I couldn't get it back in myself, and my wife couldn't. She helped me. She couldn't help. She couldn't get it back. Help me get it back in, and plus it was pretty painful, and so we trekked off to go to the ER, which that was a mistake. I think I would have been better off struggling for the rest of the morning and then going to urgent care or trying to get it back in myself or something. But it was awful. I waited 4 hours in the ER before a doctor would see me to get it back into place. And they made me do x-rays, they did triage, they did all this stuff, but wouldn't do anything for my shoulder, and I had to wait for 4 hours before they would see me in excruciating pain. So I don't recommend that for anybody. That's probably the worst of the whole thing, worse than even the crash. But so a couple days later, went to the surgeon, and we got it scheduled. So the surgery was on July 14th, which was exactly 1 month from when it happened. And so that was 4 weeks, a few days later. So now, as of yesterday, it's been 10 weeks, as I said. I do have to wear this sling most of the time for, until the 6-week point. I go back to the doctor on Tuesday for my 6-week checkup. But meanwhile, I have been doing PT since week 4. So I've had a couple of weeks of PT, and we take it off and we move it around, and the objective is to get it moving, where I can, move it, or they can move it at first, without me actually using my muscles, get some range of motion back to it, and then that'll be really the plan, probably until week 8 to 12, before we would ever start doing any kind of strengthening stuff. So it's kind of the plan for now. I said by week 8, hopefully you'll have most of your range of motion back, but it's got a long way to go. So it's really tight, especially like an external rotation, and this motion like this, like to go like this or above my head, it's very difficult to do. I can't get but about to here or here, and I can't rotate it out but about right here. So, it's a long way to go. So anyway, I'm on that journey, and I'll try to give an update maybe in a couple of weeks, just a quick one, maybe a little clip or something, a short or something, and so it'll be this whole process for a shoulder surgery is like 4 to 6 months at least. They say for contact sports, you need maybe 9 months, but it depends, just how it goes, and so we'll see how it goes. The soft tissue, the tendons and the cartilage, it takes it a long time to heal, not like a bone. It's like 6 weeks and it's pretty strong, but it takes that at least like 12 to 16 weeks at least to start healing good, where it's safe to be rough with it. So anyway, that's the story, and hope to see everyone back at the track soon. Take care. Bye.